Today is the first day that I became the Green Ranger.
You know, it's really crazy just looking at my journey cosplaying the Green Ranger over, so many years now. I look at when I first started, I started off with, that muscly Green Ranger costume and, have the plastic helmet. And it was so awesome, when I first got in that suit because, mind you, before that, I was cosplaying, a couple of different things. I was still doing my Spider-Man stuff and always loved dressing up, always loved creating my own costumes. But, Power Rangers, I've always been a fan of the show. I've always been a fan of the brand. And, I was like, you know what, it's time. I want to be able to dive into this cosplay world of Power Rangers. And once I did, man, I was just hooked, from that point on. And after that, muscly, bulky, Green Ranger costume, the first one that I had, that quickly transitioned into, different modifications where I made several different Green Ranger shields and, different modifications for the suit that I had, over the years, which, just changed and, upgraded here and there. But, it's just so cool to look back on that because I look at from where I started and to where I am, currently, which is just crazy, and part of cosplay and my journey, fitness is taking a big portion into that. Like, that's a big part of like my cosplay name. For me, I really wanted to get in shape. And I was like, if I'm going to cosplay a Power Ranger, if I'm going to do this whole cosplay thing, this was years ago. I was like, I definitely, want to be in tip-top shape for myself. And so eventually that turned into more than just, I don't want to just look good just for the sakes of cosplay. Fitness and health, that's a lifestyle, and something that I, cherish for myself. But ultimately, it just makes that cosplay experience for, me as an individual that much more sweeter and that much more fun. And so that's kind of the name and the meaning behind it, Zentai Fit. It's like, I want to look my best in, my cosplay, which is really cool. So that just a quick little history lesson there for you guys about the name Zentai Fit. But aside from that, I get asked this a lot. Why do you cosplay as the Green Ranger, as, a Power Ranger? And for me, honestly, I relate so much, with that character. Specifically, if we're talking, Tommy Oliver. Like, for me, when I was a kid, we moved around a lot. I moved to different schools and, I had to make new friends and had to fit into new communities. And, even to this day, in different instances, moving out of a different state into California, you're put into a different environment, and sometimes you feel like the outsider looking in. You are the new kid on the block, and the Green Ranger was that guy. If you watch the show back in the 90s, and I could just relate with that, and seeing somebody that's kind of like the underdog rise up and become this iconic leader that everyone to this day still admires, spoke volumes to me as a kid and even to this day, where it's like, if he could do it, I definitely, could rise above any, circumstances or situations that, I was dealing with in my life. And I think that's one thing that just resonates, for me with that character specifically, if we're talking, Tommy Oliver and the Power Rangers in general. But specifically for that character, that's why I drew so close to the character of the Green Ranger in terms of cosplays, because of that relatability, and I think every cosplayer has that, where you have that one character that, you just relate to, and, there's a reason why you're so engulfed and, it's probably so obsessed, as some people might say, and that's because of that, relatability. And then there's also the nostalgic factor. There's just something about Power Rangers, there's something about Spider-Man and being able to cosplay all of those things that I love and all of those things that, I cherished in my childhood. It allows me to take something from the 90s and keep it alive to this day, where, you know, 90s kids, you know, will tell you like, man, we have the best childhood, all the things that we were able to watch, and all the movies and all the TV shows and the cheesy commercials and the candies, all that crazy stuff. You know, and times change, you know, the world has changed, but, you know, there's something about being able to cosplay and be in that community, specifically, you know, with Power Rangers, you know, that allows me to hold on to just a little something, you know, that was very special in my childhood, and keep that alive today and make new memories. So that's my thoughts. So that's just a quick, you know, little history lesson on, you know, my history and evolution, so to speak, of cosplaying as the Green Ranger. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And if you are new here in my channel, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it out. And I will see you guys here on the next video. Until next time, guys. Wham, bam, boom.